Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Jay Speak. This week we cover questions, and this is kind of two interesting questions. First question, do I really need good gear? What is considered good? Good gear is what you consider good. So you've got feel, what you hear, how you react to it, and price, really, because you can totally love a Squier guitar, and it's cheap. And if it works for you, and it feels good, and it sounds good, it is good. It is yours. If you're financially secure and you've been playing a while, you tend to look at like the prettier guitars. Amps are amps. None of them I feel like are that pretty unless you're buying like, a PRS or Mesa custom order maple hardwood cabinet, dyed blue or something. Custom shop Gibsons look amazing. So Fenders or Friedmans or Suhrs or Gretsches. I mean, they all have flashy guitar models, but they all got these like knock around beginner models, that guitar that plays well for a few $100. And you can spend $5,000 on a Les Paul and hate it. It's one of those things where you have to get over kind of the superficial stuff if it's going to work for you. I've played very expensive guitars and not been impressed, and I've played cheap guitars and been like totally wowed. Like I remember when, were they Melody Makers? I can't remember. No, it was all of them. It was a Les Paul, an SG, a Flying V, and an Explorer. Had one pickup. I think it was a 61. I don't know. This is like 10 years ago, and they were all black. Maybe they were Melody Makers. They were all black or blue. I played one at Guitar Center and was blown away by it. And the guitar was only like $350, and it was a Gibson. Had one of those SGs for a long time, and the pickup was gnarly and it sounded great. But in the end, it's like I tend to favor, the other nicer quote guitars, because the appointments, they felt better. Honestly, they sounded better in the end. But that guitar itself was great, and I played that one for a couple years actually, and there was really nothing wrong with it. I kind of outgrew it in the sense of I just wanted something else or nicer or whatever. But you can totally get good cheap gear. You do not need to spend a ton of money. It's like recording. You can get by with minimalist stuff. You don't need expensive preamps and expensive monitors. You really need to know how to work EQ and other things, and how to record properly. And that in itself takes a ton of time. Not everything I do is great. You learn as you do. So you have to try different mic positions. You have to try different cabinets and amps and guitars and all that stuff to figure out what you like anyway. Defining what is good is subjective. Like, my best friend loves Les Pauls, and they're not my favorite guitar, but they're what he loves. And whether that's superficial or not, which I think some of it is, I think he just likes the way Les Pauls look, and maybe it's the interaction with everything else, but in the end, that's fine. I mean, I tend to gravitate toward, more of the oddball type stuff. That's what I like. As far as needing really good gear, I mean, good gear is subjective. It's not always the most expensive. It's not always the most popular. There's a ton of sleeper amps and guitars that you can get your hands on and absolutely fall in love with. So I wouldn't discount something because of price, because of look, because of what you think it'll sound like, because you could get that guitar in the room and it is the greatest thing in the world. Experiment, have fun. That's what the whole thing's about. Question 2, is it worth buying gear new or buying gear used? Well, I think it depends on how big your wallet is. So let's go through this kind of in a logical sequence. If you buy something brand new, you get the store warranty and the return period, which is like anywhere from like 30 to 90 days maybe. You get their warranty on it. You get maybe outside warranty protection from them. So let's say you buy something from, Musician's Friend, and you get gold coverage and you pay for 3 years and they'll replace it. That costs you more money, but you have peace of mind for that amount of time that it can get replaced or whatever. You have the full manufacturer's warranty. You get it new from the box. No one tampered with it. It should have the original parts, etc., blah, blah, blah. And if there's anything wrong with it, you simply exchange it or you return it. The cons of buying something brand new, it's full price. But the biggest setback, I think, is you spent more money to get something brand new. Now, the pros of buying something used, it's cheaper and you can buy more. Whereas, like, cons for buying a used item is you really have no idea how many people went through that item and what they did to it. You don't know if the tubes are the same, the resistors are the same, the caps are the same. You don't know if they changed the pots in the guitar. You don't know if they mess with the internal guts of a pedal. You have no idea. You don't know if that guitar's been owned by 75 people before you got to it. You have no idea how used the tubes are, how broken in a speaker is, if the speaker cone is damaged. Like, none of those things you know, right? Unless you inspect it, you're a guitar tech, you're an amp tech, you can comb it in front of you, or the pictures are good enough. I think one of my biggest pet peeves of buying online used is that people put guitar is used, pedal is used, in great condition. That honestly tells me nothing. An example for the pedal, I don't know if it comes with the box, the adapter, the instruction manual, whatever. Pedal is good. You know, the guitar is, well, it's dinged up, it's used, and they show one picture of it. Come on. Those are the things that would prevent me from buying something used on Reverb or eBay or Facebook or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you really wanted that Mesa amp that costs $2,500 and someone's selling it for half that, I mean, really, you can buy 2 Mesa amps for the price of buying a new one. As you can see from my background, I would rather buy used and have multiple varieties. Now, where that can bite you, like I said, is someone changed the tubes, they changed out a speaker, you know, they got rid of the cab because it was rattling and all they had to do was open up the back and tighten a screw on a speaker and voila, no more rattle. You know, at the end of the day, you can acquire more gear, you can try more things, you can experiment. If you buy used versus new, unless you just got money coming out your ears, you know, I think used is the way to go. Personally, you can take your time, you can be patient. That's probably one of the harder things, is you have to wait. And if you don't mind waiting, you are typically rewarded. Now, I'm not saying every used purchase was a good purchase. I've purchased guitars where it's, quote, original, and I've opened it up, it's different pickups, it's different pots, stuff wasn't even wired correctly, and it's like, really? Really? And then when you question the seller about it, it could just be, well, I didn't know. They knew and didn't say anything, and they plead like UPS damaged it during shipping. So you're telling me when you shipped it across 3 states, the guitar somehow got rewired in transit? I don't even have words for that one. It blows my mind. And that, yes, that actually did happen. So you can have quite a few nightmares buying used and what people will try to pull, and that's a shame, and that's really crappy, because it's a good way to like get some money back if you're the seller. You move on to a next piece of gear, and the person buying it gets to try something new, and for a much less cost buying something new. You know, on the new side, I've noticed a lot of companies stop double boxing things if you're buying online. So they are shipped in the manufacturer's box, which really isn't intended for like commercial transit, and stuff gets damaged frequently, which is such a shame and so dumb. It's honestly a gamble buying used, but I think it's worth it. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Many more videos to come. Don't miss one sub.